Hi, everyone. From me, Brent Graham of goodforthegame.co.za, coming to you from a freezing cold study here in Johannesburg in the early hours of a Thursday morning. We're going to be talking Tour de France, a stage 6 preview. Before we get into that, though, a reminder that all of our previews are going out on our Good for the Game extra channel this year. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscribe button now and hit the like as well. It does help the channel a lot. Right, before we get into stage 6, let's have a look at the results of the 33-kilometer individual time trial in stage 5. Remco Evenepoel justified the 1-4 favoritism there to take the win by 16 seconds from Pogačar, who certainly rode a lot better than he did in the Dauphiné. And most importantly, he put in over a minute to Vingegaard, who you'll see doesn't feature in the top 10 there. Our interest for the day was a Schelmoser top 10. Unfortunately, he didn't do a bad ride at all, but unfortunately couldn't make the top 10. He actually finished 19th in the end, probably about 25 seconds or so off the top 10. Time trials for me are never that thrilling to watch, but it was certainly very interesting to watch the time splits. And yeah, wonder what the story was with Vingegaard there. I think a lot of theories saying he's just worked too hard over this first week of the tour. Pogačar's actually taken things fairly easy by his standards, aside from where he sprinted for the stage victories, and certainly on stage 4, he did put quite a bit of pressure down. But Vingegaard maybe not riding to his usual style. Right, let's go on then and have a look at the outright situation at the moment. You've got Pogačar, he's 42 seconds ahead of Evenepoel. Kevin Vakiling, what a great ride. He's just probably the ride of the day in many ways. He's just under a minute behind them. Now, Vingegaard's now 113 back. And we can just see at the bottom there in 8th place, Primoz Roglic, 230 back. He didn't do a bad time trial, but he didn't do a great time trial. He'll have to find something really big if he's going to get onto the podium in that final week. Having a look at the betting, Pogačar shortened from 7-20 to 1-5 now. It really is hard to argue with that at the moment. Vingegaard, you can get him now at 4-1, and Evenepoel at 18-1. Have a look at Roglic there now, 149-1 for the win. So some big prices there. Green jersey, I mentioned it in yesterday's preview. Pogačar may well take all 3 jerseys. Well, that's exactly what's happened at the moment. He's now gone into green as well on 97 points after his second place. Jonathan Milan on 92. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting. You look at the betting. Milan there is 70-20, Pogačar 7-4, Gamay 9-2. Van der Poel, who still to me doesn't seem to be going for this at 11-2. And yeah, it's hard to see maybe how Pogačar is going to get beat, because he's just going to keep on picking up points in stage finishes and that. And there's not that many straight sprint stages where you know that Milan is going to definitely pick up points. The polka dot jersey, well, I don't know why. I couldn't find any betting on the polka dot before doing the show, and I can only assume bookies are giving it a bit of a think at the moment, because possibly a Vingegaard might even shorten a bit in the King of the Mountains, because there's now a chance. I'm not saying he's out of contention yet, but far from it. But the bookies might be thinking, well, if he does fall out of contention, will he focus on polka dots? Perhaps we might even get a bit of a stretch on Pogačar there. But he was 11-10 Pogačar. I don't expect much change when the betting comes out. Probably just an oversight from the odds makers. Right, let's have a look at the Stage 6 profile. It's a really, really good one. We've got no fewer than 6 categorized climbs here. And some of them really, really, not long, but certainly some tough ones. You'll see that Cat 3 climb, the third one, 1.6 kilometers at 9.5%, just at the stage where riders might well be looking to launch with about 60 kilometers to go. But maybe let's jump back to the beginning. What type of a breakaway are we going to get? Up to now, we've had very small breakaways and breakaways that haven't been given much leash. I'm expecting a big battle to get into the breakaway, and that in itself might mean that it takes a long time for the breakaway to form. It could form early. Let's face it. There might be a case of 5 or 6 riders going up the road early, but it could also happen on this first Cat 3 climb, 5.6 kilometers at 3.7%. And who knows, it could even be all together after that. I do expect it, though, to potentially go on the climb, and I think we're going to get a strong breakaway. And I don't know. I look at the stage, and I don't think UAE are going to want to break themselves to protect not only the yellow jersey, but potentially win the stage for Pogačar. It is a stage that suits him. And if it all comes down together at the end, you'd have to fancy him or probably Van der Poel to take the win. But I'm not sure that you want to burn your team on a 201-kilometer stage. There's so many big stages to come in this tour. Would you Visma chase? I doubt it, because, if you bring it all back together, Pogačar probably just gets more bonus seconds. And also for them, I think it's a case now maybe lying low, licking their wounds a little bit, and perhaps waiting for some opportunities to come up late in the tour. It might just be worth consolidating their position for now. Matthew van der Poel, his team could chase, but gee, yeah, this is a long, hard stage. I think they'll rather try and stick him in the break. I'm not sure he'd be allowed in the break though, and they may put their eggs in other baskets. Perhaps even look at someone like Caden Groves for this stage. In fact, I haven't looked at his price, Caden. I'll look at that and possibly post a bet there in the forum. I hadn't thought of him up until now. But anyway, I expect a decent break to go clear. I don't know if the break will stick, but I'm going to bet suggesting that the break is going to stick in the stage. I just don't know which team is going to keep it all together. But you never know. Often surprises you how these teams come out of the woodwork and suddenly start riding. But a very open stage, in my opinion, although you'll see now the betting is not that open. Just a reminder of World Sports Betting's Tour de France refund for a second place finish there. I'm not using their odds today. They actually weren't up at the time of writing some on Bet Exchange. We got Pogacar here for stage 6 at 5-2. Van der Poel 13-2. Romain Gregor, he was exceptional yesterday in stage 4. He's 12-1. Vingegaard's 18. Wout van Aert, we haven't really seen him go for a stage yet at all. He's certainly shown he's got some decent legs though. He's 18-1. Mauro Schmidt 20-1. Alaphilippe 20. Ben Healy 22. I won't list all of them, but let's go down to my bets there and have a look. Half a unit for me on Ben Healy at 22-1. I can see him making the breakaway. I certainly see his team I'm going to mix it up with a political party in South Africa there, but I'm certainly expecting them to get riders into the break, and I think Healy could be the man. If he wins, he's probably going to have to go solo at some point from the breakaway. He's not the fastest of sprinters. Then Mark Hirschi, hasn't been the same rider for a couple of years, but showing up quite nicely now at the moment in the tour without actually challenging in any of the stages. If he can get into the breakaway, he might be a hard man to stop. And finally, they have gone for Alaphilippe, Hirschi's teammate, of course, at 20-1. He looked very good in stage 4. Shame he had the mechanical, the flat tire, and he just couldn't get back. Although we couldn't sustain it when he got back, but he had to work very hard to get back in the peloton. And he certainly showed me enough there to suggest that he can win a stage of this Tour de France. Bear with me. I'm quickly going to pop on. I'm not going to bring it up on my screen, but I'm quickly going to have a look and see what price Caden Groves is for the win. I'm scrolling down. I can't see him at all. Caden Groves, 199 for 1. So make that a bet that I'm going to add there. I'll probably go half a unit. Let's be bold. Go half a unit on him as well. So that's Caden Groves at 199 to 1. Certainly a really big price on that one. That's all for stage 6, folks. This is one that you do want to watch from the start of the stage. I often say, just tune in for the last hour. This is one where you want to see the break forming. And I'll be back late Thursday night after our rugby betting show, The Handicap. That's, of course, in fact, it won't be on the main Good for the Game channel. That'll be on my X channel. And also on Facebook, we'll be talking international rugby. I'll be back after that with a preview of stage 7. Enjoy the stage. It should be an absolute cracker.